Good evening everyone and welcome to Dangerous Monday. Let's see if we can actually get it to work tonight. This will be week 4 potentially of problems with the stream. I've actually gone through a whole lot of stuff over the weekend trying to fix this. I'm hoping that tonight we're going to be relatively stable. Let's hope. But, let's get into the thick of it. There we are. Hello everybody. So what we're doing this evening, I'm not entirely sure. We haven't done much in the way of elite encounter stuff this week, so well, we have, but just don't want to go into it. It's all stuff that's in progress, so I don't really want to go into it. There's perfect timing from the sun. Yes, he delivers the essential supplies for a night of streaming. How many milkshakes was there? 3. What flavours?
All strawberry.
Sorry?
All strawberry.
Oh, we fucked that up, didn't we? It's meant to be 2 strawberry, 1 chocolate.
We might have run out of chocolate.
Maybe. Cool. Should be a bottle of Coke there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's that?
In the kitchen. Alright, you want a cup?
Aye. Yes, drink deliveries, very important thing when you're streaming, especially given the fact I've not had any tea, and I'm probably not going to have any tea this evening because I'm not feeling particularly hungry, but I'm thirsty as hell. I could drink a river, a clean river hopefully. There you go. So anyway, yes, haven't dropped any frames yet, which is pretty good given that we're only 5 minutes in. Hopefully we're going to be stable this evening, but the only problem is I have no idea what to do. We had a look at some of the INRA bases last time. I was contemplating going to have a look at some of the Guardian bases, or have a look and see if there's any of the new that was back. Oh my god. Thank you very much.
It's alright.
I don't know why, but it feels weird talking to you guys when he's here. Is that weird? Anyway, so yeah, I was thinking about having a look at some of the INRA bases. I did make a text file that's got some stuff on it. But one of the things I was thinking of was there's some Guardian runes that were kind of being talked about last week. Right, for some reason I'm pinging chats to YouTube as well. That's bizarre. I've got my restream thing set wrong. Never mind. I've been doing that for weeks now. That means that all my stuff from the last few weeks has been stuck on YouTube as well. That's a bit bizarre. Yeah, so I was looking at some of the stuff on forums last week about the INRA bases, which is where I got to come to this one. And I've realised that what I've done is I've came here and I haven't brought an SRB. That was what I did at the end of last week, and I wasn't sure whether to try and nip off someone during the week and get one of those lovely boys. But as it turns out, I didn't have any time to get on the computer because it's been a hell of a busy week. Work has been particularly irritating. Oh, that's cold. Is that cold? Yes. So I've not had a chance to do it. So I was thinking what I might do is I might do that now. So potentially I could head off now. So if anybody's actually watching, if you've got any suggestions what to do, if you've got any preferences, again, I was contemplating more INRA bases, seeing if there are any new ones, do a bit of research, have a look and see what new stuff's out there. Maybe go and nip by one of the new INRA bases if they found any new ones yet. Maybe find the latest one that they've found and see what's happening. And then potentially go see some Guardian bases. So I don't know. I don't know what to do tonight. I will at some point jump back in the Python and head back off on the road to riches, because it's not finished yet. I've only got halfway around it. So the hope is that I can wander about and find some stuff. Yeah, so we're a little quiet on this evening. So only two of us. I think Garzini's hovering around somewhere. No, I'm on. Not sure who else is around. So let me have a... Let's have a look. I keep opening that window because I've got a new speed thing dial plug-in. Shepherds of Commerce, hello there. Hello, Colin. So the Shepherds of Commerce. I don't know what's new in anything yet. So what's that? Verrazano Point. Is that the closest place to where I am? Okay, let's have a look on screen. Now let's see if the old voice attack's working tonight. Galaxy map. It's not looking good, is it? Galaxy map. Galaxy map. Let's see. Galaxy map. Well, given the fact I can't get anything to bloody work so far, you'll probably have more fun than I am right now. Galaxy map. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Galaxy map.
Closing map.
Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Verrazano Point. Oh, hey, that's quite close. That'll do. Close system map.
System map.
Close galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
So many jumps is it to get to Verrazano Point? Or is it Verrazano? Hip 165. 165. Okay. Galaxy map.
Frame shift drive disengaging.
What? Shut your face. Hip 16591. Close galaxy map.
Closing map.
Well, cheerio in base. We hardly knew ye. Raise landing gear.
Gear coming up. afterburners.
Good evening, Bifford. The man, the myth, the legend, the Bifford. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
Sorry to say it, Ederin, but I actually I must have dropped off the stream before you lost the piece. But I'm glad you've got it. Yay! It's not often that Michael miss pieces out. So scan the system.
Stand by scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
Okay.
Eden has not been commissioned for duty.
Missing a blue rubber tube. That's a nasty thing to be losing. Nobody should be missing a blue rubber tube. There's no Verisanto base here. Have I got to... Okay, which planet's it on then? I'm not going to explore the whole damn system. Bought Planet Coaster. It's a good purchase. A damn fine purchase if you ask me. Yeah. I don't know, I think the controls are okay. They're not brilliant. Actually no, I disagree. I think that once you get used to them they're really, really good. Oh, so the nav beacon, the nav beacon can do all that for you, can't it? Do you know, I totally forgot about that. So long since I've explored in a civilized, inhabited system. I actually don't think my right mouse button is anything either. Honestly can't remember. Do you know, it's so long since I've played pretty much anything other than Elite. This is the thing about being locked into doing the RPGs, that the only thing I've really justified myself playing is this game, so I've got information. Drop.
Exiting now.
Safe disengage at nearly 5k. Interesting. Serious? Oh shit, is that a good place to be, really? Target.
Locking onto target.
Hey. Jump. Jump.
Charging frameshift drive.
Retract the weapons.
Retracting all weapons.
Jump.
Frameshift deactivated.
So, shall we talk about the underhanded, nasty tactics of Frontier developments? I was thinking something earlier on today about this whole Thargoid thing that's going on in game at the moment. And there's one thing I remember being told, that early on when they were talking about the impact that the Thargoid stuff would have on the rest of the game, is that if you were going to be going exploring, you should take weapons with you. Like, you should always have weapons, because they're going to be very important come the Thargoids. Well, I don't believe this. I believe, in my little head, that that was lies, propaganda from the propaganda machine to get us into trouble. Because I think that if you're flying about unarmed, they've got no reason to attack you, and therefore they won't attack you. And I've proven that kind of right the way things stand at the moment. You complain about the bloody sound again, Bifford. You're never happy, are you? Let me check. No, it's all roughly the same as it always is. I'll turn the game sound down. Bloody hell. I'll put the music on like I keep forgetting to do. Need to quickly open up a notepad window to paste that into. I don't know if it's just me since the last time we've looked at planets or whatever, or if it's just my brain working the way it does after being at the expo. But do these planets look a little bit more detailed this evening? Well, why not do what everybody else is doing and complain about there not being any hard copies? Just had a guy in DJ Truthsayer stream complain that he had to print out that he'll have to print out the game if he buys it to take it to his gaming club. You know, people are never happy. I'm going to be on it, Biff. I just don't know which week it is yet. I mean, I spoke to the guys end of last week, and they said that yes, it was pretty much going to be happening. They just need to work out where they can fit me in best. You're talking about guard frequency. I actually listened to it before I kind of thingied it, and I listened to what they were saying about the RPG and sort of what the podcast is. Now, it used to be a specifically Star Citizen one, but because there's not a lot of news to talk about in Star Citizen at the moment, hang on a minute and get this right. Yeah, so the
Selezen, Sierra, Echo, Lima. A docking request must be supplied before access can be granted.
they won't let me at this distance, will they?
Clearance denied. Advance to 7,500 meters. Access permitted. Plot route for approach to landing pad 02.
Deploy landing gear.
Landing modules deployed.
Would you like me to lower the landing modules?
Already done it, Hen. Don't worry about it.
Fine, I won't disturb you again.
Current rate of descent is good.
Is it?
Eden has not been commissioned for duty.
There we go.
You're on the deck. Engaging docking restraint. Hello, Commander. We are happy to have you.
Yeah, so it used to be a primarily climb to the higher. Yeah, so yeah, but now that there's not a lot to talk about in Star Citizen at the moment, they're now talking about Elite Dangerous and other stuff as well. So one of the conversations about Elite Dangerous was talking about the RPG. Now, I know this has come about because one of the guys on their show, Tony, purchased a copy of it the day after they recorded their podcast. So I don't know how they've got a hold of the information, or whether it's something they look at quite a lot as different things to do with Elite Dangerous or whatever. But they're aware of the ED RPG and they're aware of Elite Encounters, and they were talking about the differences between the two and how it all came about and so on. And they had some confusion, and it's quite interesting to listen to people who are not kind of in our little group of people that kind of the inner circle, as it were, because they were making some assumptions and saying some stuff that wasn't particularly right. And obviously they were only sort of telling part of the story of what was going on, and part of the story of the RPGs, part of the story of the groups behind the RPGs and all that kind of stuff, and the groups behind the books as well. So they're talking about Druid, talking about me, talking about other guys. So it was quite interesting to listen to, but there were a few things that I thought, you know what, it'd be nice if they could get kind of like the story from the horse's mouth, as it were. So rather than making the assumptions they'd made about the RPG and the other RPG and all that kind of stuff, it'd be nice for them to not have to make the assumptions. So that was where I decided to myself, I'll have a go and I'll go on their thing and I'll see if they want me to come on and talk about stuff and see what they think. So that was my plan. So I popped them an email and I says, look, I'm doing the thing, I'm trying to concentrate on two different things at the same time. Right, stick an SRV in there. Planet Rivi Kalanga. Yeah, that's where I'm a bit confused, because I don't think either of the games is like that. So it's kind of the opposite, which is interesting. I know my one's opposite to that. I haven't had much of a chance to get into the book of the EDRPG itself either, so I'm not entirely sure what their system's around. It could be that they're talking about that, I don't know. I thought, asked them if it was okay, nothing mentioned, nothing gained. They seem like a nice bunch of guys. So they have said that they will they'll get back to me and let me know. They said they'd be interested to have me on, but they'd have to let me know what week they can fit me in, so it's amongst an appropriate set of subjects, as it were. So that should be okay. Oh, me too, Garzini. Me too. Alright, so I've got
Radio
some stuff.
silence confirmed.
Shut up. Got some stuff in the hangar bay. I've now got a vehicle I can go and puddle around in. So where are we going to go? Are we going to go looking for more INRA stuff? Or are we going to go looking for Guardians? Or are we going to go wandering about? So there's a couple of you in there now. Who's up for having a bit of a shufty around the galaxy? What is it you'd like me to have a look at? What was the other things that you were saying there, Bifford? There was a couple of things you asked. What was in the full package? Garzini's looking at various pre-press settings in Adobe Acrobat. Ooh, nice. Interesting. If you you can tap that and give me some hints and tips as to how to do that, because I've been kind of looking into a couple of different things. I've used Calibre to make some output files, but with having text over graphics in particular format, it hasn't exported particularly well, so I'm having to do it manually, sadly. Sign the proof copy you delivered, mark it as one-off proof copy and only one in existence, and send it to me as a collector's edition. I'll be honest, it's the first one. I'm sorry, but that's mine. That's mine, bitch. Sorry if that comes across as harsh, but I waited 5 years to feel that in my hands. And the feeling I actually cried. I actually wept because it was in my hand. I came in from work on the Tuesday, having had the delivery message from the people delivering it at about 11 o'clock, and I sat and I sponged the entire time that I was sitting there. You sent me a planet name, didn't you? Let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at this place that Garzini's been to. Are you in my player group, Garzini? Because if you are, I'm going to pop along and have a look at that. What was it you called it? A barnacle forest? Then once I have a look at that, we'll head off to the Guardians, as Garzini has said, and Bifford has said the same thing. So, yep, cool, let's do that then. Coolio. Open galaxy map. That's not that far away. Close galaxy map. How many jumps is that? $17. No, that's not bad. Brewdog. Dead Pony Club. I've had Brewdog Pale Ale. Is the Dead Pony Club a different one, or is it just a sub-name for it? There are options available by Acrobat Pro for setting ink limits depending on target printer. Yeah, I've seen... printer profile stuff. I've downloaded a whole lot of printer profiles from Adobe Acrobat. Raise landing gear. Raise landing gear. Raise landing gear. For fuck's sake. Raise landing gear. Yeah, Brewdog IPA is lovely. It is actually one of the few pale ales I can drink one bottle in one go, so that's good for an IPA. They're usually too heavy to do that with.
Starport restrictions lifted. Traffic operations out.
Engage Super Cruise.
Super Cruise drive engaging.
Jump.
Jumping.
As regards to the other question,
Afterburners maxing engines.
I don't know what you pledged for or what you've bought because my spreadsheet's on the other computer. Jump.
Engaging jump.
You don't drink, Orsini. Scary.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system. Jump. Jump.
Jumping.
Stop.
Drive deactivated.
Jump.
Preparing for jump.
Scan the system. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
Oh, incidentally, scan the system. For such an itchy nose. Oh. I contacted. Remember, I said that the print sample wasn't particularly great, had a lot of banding. I contacted them, contacted the print people, jump,
Engaging jump.
and they have identified that the problem is down to their printer had a NAF drum on it, and that there was a slight error in the fact that they shouldn't have used the printer they used, print off my sample copy, because they knew that, or one guy knew that that needed to be changed, and the guy that did the print didn't. And he's quite. I think the guy I was speaking to on Tuesday was the. So the guy I was speaking to on Wednesday was the guy that kind of owns the company, and the guy that I spoke to on the week before was not the guy that owns the company. So he's arranged to do another print run. Made sure the print. He's going to make sure himself the printer is working properly. We'll send out another one. He's also going to fix the resizing of the pages that happened. So essentially, my page size was exactly A4. The book they printed out is exactly A4. But they've resized the pages, so they've given it a bleed. And I said to them, it wasn't meant to have a bleed. I said that in the instructions, it doesn't need a bleed. I don't mind losing a couple of millimeters or something in total, like a millimeter each side or something like that. But you've taken off about half a centimeter each side, and that's too much, because everything's going to be the wrong size. And he goes, right, okay, we'll make sure we fix it this time. So I've sent them the correct ISBN number on the inside as well, because I forgot to change the ISBN number on the inside of the book. So dull. No! Just no! Jump! Jump!
Preparing for jump.
We'll see. Honestly, I'm speaking to the kids. But yeah, so they're going to do another run, fix that problem. I was a bit worried that some of the ink was coming off the cover, but he says, "Oh, we've not laminated it because it's only a proof." And I said, "Well, it's meant to be a sample that I can evaluate to see if it's going to be hard wearing enough for people to use." And he goes, "All right, okay, we'll laminate this one then." So. But the good news about it is, I mean, as I was going through it, and obviously I've been opening it and reading it and showing it to people, and basically I've been showing it off any opportunity I can. I mean, I'm not even going to be sorry about it. I've given it to anybody who will look at it. And in the meantime, I've discovered there's about 25 different people at my workplace that are all role players, which is quite scary. Jump!
Charging frameshift drive.
Really, Garcia? Oh, if you do, and you can do them for a decent price, let me know, and I will sell them for you, and you can have a cut of the profits. Oh wow! Thank you. It's quite flattering when somebody wants to put all that effort into something, and yeah, it's really nice. Thank you. I'm actually quite enjoying how well it's going. Actually, I mean, it's done okay. I'm quite impressed. Grossly underestimate how much I need to pay in in taxis though. Jump!
Engaging jump drive.
Scan the system. I know a guy who can peel a grape one-handed. Jump.
Jumping.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system. Bedford, really? Jump.
Jumping.
I once knew a girl who could peel a banana with her feet.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the
Okay.
system. I don't have any cargo space in this ship, do we? Oh no, I do.
The landing gear is down and locked.
I've got limpets in them. I had a £434 refund from the council today. Wow. Nice. Jump.
Charging frameshift drive.
That's always good. I quite enjoyed it at one point last week. What's that? What does that mean? What's just happened?
Accessing index.
Astra?
Astra?
Thank you for the host.
Atom. This is the basic building block.
Shut up.
The matter that creates...
And the new trick. Scan the system. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
I'm going to say something. There's been no drops in signal tonight. Connection is actually stable.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system. I don't know whether it's something I've done or whether it's something that's been done externally, but what I did, the only thing I have really done, which I did before, is I've actually unplugged the router, I've reset the router, then I've unplugged it, and then I've actually moved it because it was sitting underneath a box, so I've actually moved it to sit on top of the box, and now I've got 10 megabits a second quicker than it was, which is 1 whole megabyte a second quicker. Jump.
Jumping.
And it seems to be a lot more stable. I'm back up to getting 40 megabits download, so 4 megabytes download. Where did I measure that? I measured it on the Star Citizen
Disengaging
installer.
supercruise.
Right, almost there. No, I'm not on wireless. I don't have a cable that's anywhere near long enough, and I would get a slap if I had a cable running from downstairs to upstairs. So no, it's wireless. Jump.
Jumping.
Potentially yes, but
I can
excuse
scan
me?
the system if you wish.
Let me just get one thing straight here, Bifford. I am pretty much aware of what can happen with networks. I'm aware that there could be wireless interruptions. I'm aware that there could be a lot of different stuff. I'm aware of the fact that I could get extenders. I'm not entirely happy with the idea of doing that. I'm quite happy the way that things are. I don't have any problems with the network connection through the wireless. It's the router to the outside world that gives me the problems because it's a stupid arse Sky one and it's crap. The router itself that pings out its wireless signal and the computer that gets the wireless signal from it are perfectly fine. I've monitored the wireless signal on various different occasions and I've never had a drop out. The lowest it goes is 2 nachos, and even with 2 nachos I'm getting a completely reliable connection. So there. Nya. Dumbass. I'll fucking dumbass you right now across the side of your face, mate. Ooh. Grrr. What am I looking for? Oh. Scan the system. Scan the system. Fucking dumbass. Open system map. So planet A5. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Closed system map. Why I oughta. Closed system map. Dumbass. Oh, shutter's broken again. God damn it! See, I don't know, Garzini. This is the thing. If I change it to a different router, I don't know whether it'll affect the TV reception. So it all connects to the TV, you see. I think I'm stuck with it. I think on the safe side I'm probably stuck with it. But it is something I'm going to look into at some point. I'm actually thinking about getting rid of Sky for TV at some point very soon because it's too fucking expensive for what you get. So the potential that I may have is to then just retain Sky, because it's the only one that does completely unlimited broadband, and I download a lot because I have a lot of games and I do streaming and I upload a lot of stuff and I do stream a lot of TV programs as well. Sky Q, I don't want to go anywhere near Sky Q. I mean, they want 200 quid to upgrade already. That's it. Without anything else, just to upgrade to the bloody box, it's 200 quid. That's ridiculous. But yeah, if I do leave Sky TV, I'll retain Sky Broadband. Oh, this thing's really digging into my head today. Really? It's a bit shite. go. I think that's it. There's no point in full screen mode for this. Deploy landing gear. Deploy landing gear. Fucking useless machine. That's because you don't listen to me, Bifford. I said we'll have a look at this first, then we'll go looking for the Guardians. That's pretty amazing stuff. But of course, me being me, the first thing I ask when I see something like this is, why? What is it? What's it for? What does it mean? Why is it here? 8-legged. Interesting. Can't drive this thing for toffee. That central one is quite well. It's bigger than the others, and it's quite well protected. There's no way you can approach it straight on. So what's it for? Is it a staging point? No, I haven't, Garzini. I haven't had the pleasure yet. It's an interesting question. See, I have a theory that these are refueling points. Because I have a huge theory about these things, about the Thargoid lore. And obviously nobody tells me anything at Frontier, so... What the hell? Help! Oh, did I put flight assist off? Yeah, I did. That explains everything. Ooh.
Resuming.
So it is. That is interesting. I was having a theory, wasn't it, before I lost control of the ship completely. Have some epilepsy, everyone. Yeah, it tries to make it less of a flickering nightmare, but I think it's actually more of a flickering nightmare, to be honest. Okay, so there's not a lot I can do here, other than foible around. But what I'll do is I'm gonna have to nip to the little boy's room for a second. So I'll tell you my theory first, while I skip out of orbit. Boost. Pelgringo! Engage super cruise. I actually think my voice stand has crashed out completely there. But I have a theory. I'm going to tell you my theory quickly. My Thargoid theory is this. I don't know if I've said it before on this stream or if I've said it on other people's streams or mentioned it to DJ Truthsay or anything like that. But what I think it is these barnacles have been seeded across the galaxy, or seeded across various points of the galaxy, so that the Thargoids have got somewhere to refuel, because they refuel on whatever it is that these barnacles are kicking out, whether it's meta-alloys or whatever else. Now, meta-alloys themselves, I think, are a catalytic, kind of the equivalent of a catalytic converter that can turn various different things into various other things. And one of the things they can turn it into is fuel. So whether they are actually mining, or essentially mining what's on the ground, the central lobe thing on the barnacle cluster is the mine, if you like. It's the bit that taps into whatever resource it is that's in the planet. It's an organic thing that, or it's possibly a living thing that mines inside the planet, and it spits out all these spikes, which are what create your meta-alloys. Those meta-alloys are used as a catalytic converter, and the materials that are used are then used as fuel for the Thargoid ships. And what they're doing when they come down and give you that spectacular light show on top of the barnacle is it's refueling itself. That's what it's doing. So I think you could be right on that, Garzini. If more than one ship had gone there, could that be like a staging point? Because what always makes me think is the film Stargate, that lobe in the centre, could that be an actual docking point? That could be the point on the surface where a Thargoid ship can land on it and refuel automatically. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Right, I'm going to point my ship at this thing for a bit. And I'm going to nip offline just for a second and go and do something secret. And then I'll come back and I'll be right with you. studio mode, then do that.
Disengaging cruise. Afterburners engaged.
Hey, I'm back. I have to say, quite impressively, that still no drop frames. Right, shall we see if we can get to one of those Guardian places? Let's just see where they are. Go on then, Gringo, feel free. That is my pleasure. Let's restart voice attack, see what we've got going on. I can say nothing on whether things go over DJ's head. He is very short. Blah, Eork. Seriously? Ah, that's no worries. It was never that popular in America. It did make it. It's actually made it more popular in America in the last 10 years than it did before it was, well, when it was launched, and around about the time it was launched. And then obviously since we've got Elite Dangerous out there, it's obviously much more popular now than it ever was. Which is good, because it deserves to be. It was amazing. IFG C27-13. Yeah, that's going to be a fair way away, isn't it? 9,000 light years. Do you know, I don't think we're going to be doing that. Not tonight. Do you know what? Do you know what I want to do? I want to go and get my python. I'm going to go and get my python, and you know what we're going to do? Not tonight, but over the next couple of nights potentially. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go and get my python, so I'm going to head back to Shinrata Desra. I'm then going to go to Colonia, and I'm going to investigate Colonia, because I've not been to Colonia, so I'm going to do that. So a 400 odd light year journey, that should take us to the end of the stream. Close galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Okay, so my pilot, I'm playing him from the perspective that he has to experience something for it to be included in his reality. So we know nothing about INRA, or why should we care about it, or why we should care about it, sorry. So there are these bases and log files for the past few weeks of it. Why should players care about this kind of galactic history, and where they should go to get it if interested? Well, that is an interesting question. And it doesn't go over my head. It's an interesting one to answer. What, there? You think that's their main base? What's that? Is that one of the what nebula is that? Open galaxy map?
Closing map.
California Nebula. Interesting.
Next hostile selected.
Open galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Ah. Closed system map.
System map.
Because a lot of the people whinge about the game being shallow is because so much of the content that enriches the game was built into the core audience. See, I disagree, because I think that they're moving this game away from the core audience now. That the core audience was catered for in the first couple of releases, but I think the power play stuff was where it started to diverge from the core audience. The Thargoid stuff has built up for so long that there's a big frustration in the community because the Thargoid stuff took nearly a year and a half to materialise, where it was only supposed to take about 6 months, and they highlighted it quite early on. And the Thargoid stuff is now bringing Elite Dangerous back into parity with what Elite was as a game. So you now have the Thargoids out there doing stuff. In terms of your original question, why should we care about it? Well, it's one of those things where INRA was, in the lore, INRA is depicted as a kind of shadowy alliance. It's an organisation that was born out of an alliance between the two powers, or three powers. Depending on who you believe about Galcop. I believe me. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
Yeah, fucked that up, didn't I?
Unable to
Oops.
comply.
I forgot. Yeah, I just clicked on the thing that I didn't bother plotting the route. What a numpty. Open galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Even with some engineering, I'm going to struggle with that one. Close galaxy map.
Closing map.
Jump.
Charging frameshift drive.
How many jumps is it anyway?
Affirmative.
31. Okay. Yeah, so INRA was basically an organisation that was essentially a research and development agency sponsored by the navies of the time, who were tasked with finding solutions to the Thargoid problem. And they found it in a very unexpected area. They were originally looking at military technology, weapons technology, that kind of stuff, and they actually found it completely by accident by somebody who was doing something on his off time, according to the lore that's in the game now, doing fungoid
You
research.
have 9 jumps left. I can scan the system if you wish.
Jump.
Engaging jump.
If you read the logs in the right order, there is an order in which the bases can be found. The INRA bases are telling a story, and if you tell it together, from the start to the finish, it does make a linear sense. So yes, I would disagree with that. Why should players care about the INRA stuff? Well, the mycoid research that INRA ended up doing
You have
essentially
8
kicked the
jumps
Thargoids'
left.
asses. And the INRA research was deployed onto the Thargoids, and it killed them, it destroyed their ships, it basically defeated them, and they left us alone for a while. So what is actually happening now is we're actually finding out exactly what happened. A lot of this stuff was suppressed, and the actual details of it all were suppressed. So it's a bit shady at the moment. I mean, everyone knows that INRA was involved in the Thargoid defeat in some way, because it's said in the lore, it's said in the game itself. But no one knows the details and the background of it, and what the actual story was, and how many people were essentially fucked over by it. Because what is starting to come to light in the INRA logs is that just as many humans were killed by INRA's actions, or by the government's treatment of INRA's actions, as were actually killed in the Thargoids, as how many Thargoids were killed as well. So it's looking like essentially the governments of the galaxy at the time was doing an at all costs attempt to find something they could use against the Thargoids. People's lives were destroyed, people's lives were ended, ships were sent out to die, bases were destroyed and abandoned, and you're finding all these bases that have been left abandoned. I mean, who knows what's in them? We don't have people in this game, so who knows whether there could be bodies lying around and stuff like that. It's a very impersonal game. That's the only thing I don't like about it. The Galnet stuff is starting to become a very, very slow trickle of information that's useful to the game, or useful to the players. Up until recently, it's been a very piecemeal thing. Well, they only seem to focus on one story at a time, which is kind of odd. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
Yeah, because I mean, they focus on the Emperor's death, they focused on the President's disappearance, then they focused on the Salome thing, and now we've got the Thargoids. So now all they're focusing on is the Thargoid stuff. Galnet is good, but Galnet needs to be a lot bigger than it is. Because one of the interesting things that Frontier First Encounters did get right, as far as his ongoing narratives is concerned, is you had stories from was it four or five different
7
perspectives.
jumps left.
So I mean, you had the RIG, you had the Imperial Herald, Federal Times, Galnet, whatever, and now you've only got one. So you've only got one point of view in the whole thing. And the problem is, I think, to be honest, the problem is that Frontier only have 1 or 2 people creating this content. They don't have enough people doing this. They don't have enough content creators, and they can't keep a multi-thread narrative going. So they are focusing all their time and attention on the Thargoid plot and what's happening. So the INRA stuff is related to the Thargoids, is your short answer. Jump.
Jumping.
A lot of people are thinking that Aegis are the new Thargoid hunters. They're the new INRA, basically. You could be right, Garzine. What you need is some kind of historical society. One that's potentially mentioned somewhere in a popular book. Pale Gringo, you were kind of responding to me on DJ's forum earlier about the RPG stuff, and I'm going to say to you this, as a bit of a sales pitch and a bit of a, I'm actually being a serious.
Jump left.
Shut up, woman. It's a serious point to make, is that if you want some canon lore from the game, then my RPG does have that stuff in it. The first 60 pages of the RPG contain all the lore information that I could scran together from Frontier about the actual history of the game's universe. Jump.
Jumping.
So it's worth a check. It's worth a buy just to get that in some people's eyes. If you're into this game and you want to know some of the history, then it is something that's worthwhile getting a hold of. Yeah, Obsidian does tend to cover this stuff in quite a lot of detail, but then he is a very prolific YouTuber and he does have the inside track to Frontier a lot more than I do.
5. Jumps left.
Scan the system.
Stand by scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
Sorry, I had a walk-in part in Obsidian's video, did you? Jump.
Preparing for jump.
There's a lot of lore stuff that kicks around. There's a lot of stuff that the community itself comes up with, and there's a lot of stuff that when Frontier put out a lot of feelers, a lot of little hints and tips now and again, whether it be in Galnet or whether it be in the community itself, or whether it be some of the stuff that they show you. Typical.
Afterburners maxing engines.
Jumps left.
Indeed, Garzini, indeed. Just to pick a random planet out of your hat, yes, a system like T and Isla would potentially have some kind of organisation like that. Well, it's a famous old world system, technically, because the planet is no longer called T and Isla. But yes, it is in the T and Isla system. Jump.
Jumping.
Well, if you'd listened to the plug for the RPG, you'd maybe know. Yeah, the Elite Encounters RPG has been, and at the moment, the way things are looking, is potentially likely to be the only book released in the Frontier universe, or in the Elite Dangerous setting, that has any lore or history in it. The EDRPG had a lore-free license, so they weren't allowed to touch any of the lore.
3. Jumps left.
And that is what has given my RPG the kind of unique status that it's got. Is that it's the only book that has an actual canon history of the Elite universe. At least canon until the point where it went to print. There's a lot of stuff that I wasn't allowed to put in there because it's stuff that was touching on stuff that could happen in game. So that stuff you'll never ever hear about, at least from me. But yeah, it's in the first 60 pages are all lore content with lots of lovely history and settings and descriptions of the different players in the game and so on. Jump!
Charging frameshift drive.
And honestly, as much information and as much lore content as I could scrape together. I mean, anything I could get in there is in there. And that's all thanks to Frontier giving me the permission to print what I did. I wasn't with him on Thursday. Do you mean last Thursday or the Thursday before TwitchCon? I can't remember.
You have 2 jumps left.
Scan the system.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
I wasn't on his stream on Thursday. Was it something that I said on a different stream that he kind of copied in, or because I wasn't online on Thursday at all? Or is he reading from the book? Ah, right, got it. Yes, well. Jump!
Engaging jump.
I think the only problem I've really got with it is that DJ does tend to take this stuff very seriously. And he sees it. I think one of the unfortunate things about the game that we're all playing and the universe that we're all inhabiting is that DJ for one takes it very, very seriously, and he thinks that whatever's out there is set in stone. And I've learned a long, long time ago that nothing that's in print...
1 jump left.
Why does it get there's 1 jump left? Jump.
Preparing for jump.
Jump.
Frame shift deactivated.
Yeah, DJ thinks that a lot of this stuff is never going to change, and Frontier have proved already that a lot of the stuff that they have already said is lore and is hard and fast canon could change, or has changed. Take the ending of Frontier First Encounters. They've changed it from what everybody considered to be the canon ending to be the other one, so that we never did make contact with them. They never did coexist with us for a couple of years. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
And things that Elite Encounters and all the other books that came out were all given a license at a time when the lore was a lot more simple than it is now. The stuff that's in my book is the stuff that's still current to this day. But some of that could change. I mean, Frontier themselves said that a lot of this stuff is ancient history and a lot of it may not even be relevant anymore. But what it does try to clarify is the kind of people these people are, or the kind of people that these organisations
You
are.
have arrived at your destination.
No, I haven't. You're confused, woman.
Awaiting further instructions.
And it's nice that DJ loves this. When I used to love this stuff as well. I've always been well into the lore for this game because I thought it was a very rich, very unique universe. But I've made it no secret that I thought that Robert Holdstock, Ian Bell, David Braben, whoever else it was that put the touches to the background stuff, I think all the stuff kind of story-wise came from Holdstock. I'm not sure how much input Bell had into that. I don't think Braven had very much. I'm not sure, but all the stuff that I've read in the past has said that Holdstock wrote the manual and Holdstock wrote the novella with some guidelines from the developers. Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
So all that rich content, all that stuff about Galcop, all that stuff about the Galactic Cooperative and the Thargoids and the different rich alien cultures and how to deal with these, if not sapient, then at least intelligent creatures inhabiting quite a lot of the planets through the galaxy, was good stuff. And in my mind, they cast all that aside, and then what they've created is a very simple human versus human, Empire versus Federation, kind of half Star Trek, half Star Wars kind of galaxy.
I can scan the system if you wish.
I honestly don't think is as interesting.
Fine, I won't disturb you again.
Oh, be quiet, women. People supported the Alliance because they claimed the Alliance made peace with the Thargoids and some inherent immunity. Nice. It's a fair point. That's the thing. From the start of the game, everyone thought the canon ending was the fact that the Alliance did make contact. That the Argent ships, Argent's quest, made contact with the Thargoids, made peace, and brought them back, and we had a bit of a party with them for a while. And that was a much more interesting concept. Is that at least at some point we tried. Jump.
Frameshift drive
One
engaging.
organisation out there decided to take their finger off the trigger, go and find them and say, look, we're sorry, it wasn't our idea, we weren't even around at that point in time, we want to try and make a difference, let's try and make a go of it. And they tried, and it failed. But it failed in a way that wasn't hostile, it just kind of drifted away. Which is kind of the way that quite a lot of things go in the world. Nothing ends with a bang. Very few things end with a bang. They usually end just by fading away into the past. Like they fade into the distance. Ends not with a bang but with a whimper or a whisper or whatever it is. And that made for a much more interesting period of time. So you've got that area in about 32, was it 3254, something like that, where you had this this coexisting thing where it was really, really hard to try and get them together because they need cold, we need heat. And we had to find somewhere like ice planets that would make things a bit better, and so we could at least have some kind of pressure suit environment where we could actually at least have a conversation. And we tried swapping stuff, we tried trading, we tried trying to find a cultural balance that we could maybe build some kind of relationship on, but it just didn't work. And then we gave them a couple of colony worlds, and then they just disappeared, they just vanished, just ran off. Just fair enough. That is an interesting thing that you could deal with, and that's kind of what I always try and keep in my head, is that we did try that and it didn't work. And even though Frontier have said that's no longer the case, that kind of personifies the Thargoid personality for me, is the fact that they're not all out and out trying to kill us all. They're not out and out warriors trying to kill us just for the sake of killing us. I think there's something in there that says, well, wait a minute here, we're just trying to study you, we want to know what's going on, we want to know where we stand. And that's borne out by the fact that I've now encountered 4 or 5 different Thargoid ships, and as long as I have not had any kind of hostile act towards them, they've left me alone. Jump.
Jumping.
When they've scanned me, they've checked me out, fair enough. And I think the whole Aegis thing, that's just repeating history, and I'm starting to wonder, but there's a lot of parallels between what is happening in Frontier, what's happening in Elite Dangerous, and what happened in Elite/First Encounter Elite/Frontier. And although we have known about the Thargoids in the past, and we have got this history with them, but we haven't built on it. We've kind of reset things back to square one. So now we have the Federation and the Empire still around like they were in back in the day. We don't have Galcup anymore, but we have got the Alliance, who are kind of staying out of it and doing their own thing, which is exactly what Galcup was portrayed as doing. We've got Aegis, which is now essentially the new INRA, developing things we can try and use to take the Thargoids out, but actual weapons this time rather than biological viruses. Jump. Jump. So it just seems to me that, you know, there's a lot of lore out there for the taking. There's a lot of stuff out there that we can do in the game. There's a lot of stuff that we can find out, and there's a lot of stuff apparently waiting for us around the corner, even before any more updates come out. Ensign Duval calling for a Jetson. I'm trying to remember that bit now. So this is the thing. I mean, the Imperials have been documented as being very, very anti-alien. They're not happy about aliens at all, and they try and do pretty much everything they can to make sure aliens don't manage to get out there. So they've apparently destroyed a race of people on one of the planets in their region. There was apparently a semi-intelligent, or at least semi-sentient species apparently around the Achenar system itself that they wiped out. They really don't give a shit about people wiping stuff out. So they're kind of not really keen on the Thargoids as part of their culture. Jump. Jump! Forget it. So yeah, it does make me wonder. There's stuff going on. So anyway, you asked a question, there's your answer. Just think about people, I mean, I don't honestly know at the moment. I don't know if it's xenophobia, because xenophobia is the fear of the unknown, not necessarily aliens. I think just basically the Imperials are just a bunch of racists. Or speciesists. Speciophobia. Xenophobia is more like the Federation. They don't know what's coming, that's why they're scared. I think the Imperials themselves are just belligerent humanists who won't tolerate the alien menace. Speciesists, there you go. Wasn't it? Did I answer your question though, Gringo?
I can scan the system if you wish.
Is there anything else you want me to add to it? Anything I've not quite answered yet? The thing you've got to remember is quite a lot of this stuff may not have an answer. DJ has his opinion on stuff. He'll read what I've written and interpret it the way he wants to interpret it. He'll read a lot more into it than what I've written into it, and that's the way it should be. But the thing is, that's how you tell a story. They are doing that right. They're keeping the story to themselves, and so they can tell it.
I can scan the system.
They give you it all at once, and there wouldn't be anything to actually play the game to find. It's going to be a pretty good story once it's done. So I think it's going to be a long time coming. So I think you're going to have this 10-year plan they've got. It's telling this particular story they've got. But in order to tell it in a linear fashion, they've got to dribble it out bit by bit. Which ain't ideal. Not for the people that are trying to listen to the story or are into this for the story. But they're dragging it out over however long they're going to drag it out for. And I think that's what I was trying to say earlier, is that they've only got the one narrative that they're playing out. And it's playing it in a very linear fashion. And it feels to me, if you're into role playing, it's almost like your GM is telling your story. And all you're doing is you're along to fill in the character gaps. Whereas a true storyteller would make the players part of the evolving story and let them affect it, which is what the main thing is meant to do. Yep, you're right, I had a few drop frames there. Well, if there's anything else you want me to answer, Pale Gringo, then let me know. I won't be on for much longer, I'm just going to get to Shinrarta, then I'm off for the evening. So 14 jumps time, then a docking, and then I'll be off. The rich legacy and the rich storyline is in there, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do the RPG, was because I wanted to get the rich background, the rich stories that are actually in the background details, and bring some of them out. And a lot of the stuff that was cut from the book, the 100,000 pages that were cut, a lot of the stuff that was there was me trying to fill in some of those gaps, so there was more plot hooks for more overlaying stories, and only had so much space to do it in, because I wanted to try and hit the 250,000 word mark. That's the wrong type of star. Fine. And it's a shame some of that stuff went. I mean, I know some of it probably was destined for the bin anyway, but one of the things about trying to create a framework for storytelling, like you do in an RPG as far as I'm concerned, is that you have to have as many parallel stories as you can get hooks in for, as you can get threads in, and then let the players weave their own tapestry. And that's kind of what DJ's doing. He's looking through the book and he's finding these plot hooks for himself, and he's taking them off in his own direction. But he's not doing it through an RPG, he's doing it through his streaming. He's doing it through talking it through with some of the people that are on his streams, which is, it's one way of doing it. It's not the way I intended, but hey, it's alright. If it works, it works. If you can tell stories from it, then it's an achievement. I know he's been looking forward to getting his hand on the book and be able to talk about it for weeks now, as has everybody who's kind of pledged for it or known it was coming, which is nice to know. It's nice to hear that people are interested in what's in it, and I know that a lot of the people who wanted it did want it for this lore and for these ideas and story nuggets from the background of the game. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what people do with them. And it's a shame that I can't be in the room with people who are going to play this game and see where they take some of the plot hooks that are in there. I have managed to put a few in there. It's not anywhere near as many as I wanted to. Jump.
Frameshift drive engaging.
Jump.
Drive deactivated.
So we're working again.
I can scan the system if you wish.
was quite concerned this evening. I did nip into DJ's stream for a little while as I was getting things set up, and it didn't seem right. I mean, I know it's maybe been a little bit egotistical, but I didn't get the usual rousing welcome that I normally get when I'm on DJ's stream. Jump. I don't know whether it's because he's just come back from America, maybe a bit jet lagged. But if he is, he shouldn't be streaming if he feels that bad. But yeah, it was a bit odd.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system.
Completing system scan. Stand by. Gathering information. Cartography has now been updated.
Jump. Jump. I won't. Jump.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Jump. 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 Jump.
Engaging jump drive.
I can scan the system if you wish.
Scan the system.
Stand by. Scanning now. Compiling data. Cartography update complete.
Jumping.
That's a good point. These things are usually the whole episode, yeah. Normally didn't have a guest on it, it's usually the whole thing, but I've not been on it for a while, so it may have changed. I'll have to check. I did get an email that had the information on there. Not even looked at it yet. Nope, totally balls that up. I can't work it out from the thing. It seems that I'm on there for a specific set, so I'm not entirely sure what the timing is for it. I'll have to check with Ben. Jump.
Drive deactivated.
Weird. I'm on the full screen thing still. That's a bit silly. Jump.
Engaging jump.
Jump.
Charging frameshift drive.
Irritating when I'm up here, hitting me in the eye. Yeah, I know. Jump.
Preparing for jump.
I'm not looking at a panel, I'm looking at my other monitor. Jump.
Jumping.
I get the feeling that you've been trying to look at your own panels there, Pale Gringo. It happens to the best of us.
Supercruise drive disengaging.
Request docking permission.
Sierra Echo Lima.
Request
Please
sent.
check your speed on approach to this facility. Access granted. Clear to land at docking bay 4-3.
Deploy landing gear.
The landing gear is down and locked.
Do not deviate from your current vector. Ground crew ready for arrival. Meters from touchdown.
That was probably quite a good landing there. I'm enjoyed that.
Confirmed contact. Commence power down. You are most welcome, Commander.
Right. Fish out the python, then I'll call it a night, I think. Shall we trade in some stuff first? Wow, cool million for basically just honking every system I went through. That's not bad going. I'll pay for a few things.
Changing ship to Python. Reconfiguring shield cell modules.
and done for this evening, I believe. Yeah, so I'm going to call that a night, guys. Again, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. No screenshots this evening for a change. Oh dear. Yeah. So, that was that. I'm thinking that, obviously now that I've got back here, I'm thinking that next week I'll do the Colonia run, or I'll start the Colonia run. Because that's something I've not done before, and now that we have the ability to do 20,000 light year thingies, I'm going to plot my course for there and see what we get, see how far we'll get each night. So it's probably going to be a couple of weeks of a run, because it's a good while, isn't it? So it'll be a bit of a laugh anyway, and I'll do it along with you guys, which will make it even more fun. If anything kicks off Thargoid wise in the meantime, obviously, then we'll postpone that, and we'll have a look at some of the stuff that we can find. I think it'd be quite nice to have a look at some INRA bases if we find any more, or even just, I mean, if you guys want to go over the INRA bases and we can try and visit each one and get all the logs and so on. So I think projection at the moment, I have no idea. Let's leave that till next week to find out. Probably going to be about 4 weeks, I would say. Trying to think how far it is. Is it about 20,000 light years, something like that? Could be about 10 weeks then. Could be a while. Let's give it some thought. It's something I'd like to do, but if not, then let's see what else we can do. But for the moment, let's leave that hanging. We can have a think about it through the week and see what we want to do next week. But for now, I'm going to go because I am very sore and I need to get up. So yeah, take care of yourselves, guys. Remember, like, subscribe, invite your friends, all that kind of stuff. And we shall see you next week in the black. Take care. Get in touch if you wanna. Alternatively, I'll see you next week. Cheerio.